Realtors tell News4Jax if the Fed raises interest rates again, there's a possibility that existing home values could eventually take a dip in Florida.
What up, YouTube? LifeofRudeDude back with another video today. Hope everybody's doing well. Remember, health is wealth. Please take care of yourself and your family. If you're new to my channel or if you have not done so yet, please make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the like button for this video. Also hit that notification and the bell. This way you're notified each and every time I drop a video. All right, folks, so today we're talking about the housing market. And as we know, what goes up must come down. Take a look.
Texas housing market is seeing some changes. The number of homes on the market continues to grow as sellers are having a tougher time getting the offers they actually want.
This is not what we heard a few months ago, right?
No.
CBS 11's JD Miles in Plano tonight with what that all means and also an idea to get around those current high mortgage interest rates.
This is a 4-bedroom house for sale in Plano. It's one of about 2,500 currently on the market in Collin County. What happened during an open house here over the weekend is something North Texas real estate agents say they haven't seen in years.
So under 500 in Plano with a pool is a great buy.
Selling a house like this used to be a piece of cake for veteran Collin County real estate agents like Kimberly Woodard.
Oh, a year ago, it would have been gone the same day.
But Woodard says this well cared for home in West Plano for sale at a bargain price went through a busy open house weekend, still unsold.
We had over 30 groups through. I mean, it was a non-stop activity. Would have thought there would be an offer on it, and we don't.
With interest rates on home mortgages approaching 6%, buyers are having to slash prices, while sellers are becoming squeamish.
Now we're seeing them taking their time.
But Woodard and others in the industry say there are ways around high interest rates. One idea involves an incentive for sellers to help buyers.
The seller now will buy their interest rate down with what is called points.
JP Therio is a mortgage advisor who says a seller now faced with lowering their home price significantly can instead reduce it only a little and use a small portion of the sale revenue to help the buyer get a lower interest rate through what's called buying down points.
They can still net a good portion of what they want to, and at the same time, the buyer now can have a lower payment because the seller's willing to pay down and buy their rate down.
I think even with the higher interest rate, remember you're marrying the house, not your financing.
North Texas remains one of the fastest growing regions in the nation, which real estate agents say should sustain the housing market during this slowdown. In Plano tonight, JD Miles, CBS 11 News.
Rates above the 5% mark, home buyers are facing new challenges this summer.
Well, consumer reporter John Matarese looks at how these higher rates are affecting buyers and what you can do so you don't waste your money.
Sarah and Clay Connor have been trying to find a home during one of the toughest buying markets in decades.
We'd put in an offer and then we got outbid. That was really disheartening.
It was definitely a frustrating experience as a buyer.
Then came this year's big jump in mortgage rates.
It was a little bit alarming when rates went from 3 to 4.
Rates surged from 4 to 5% and briefly to 6%, adding hundreds of dollars to their monthly payment.
We knew that the interest rates were going up, so we knew we wanted to find something quickly.
Realtors say once mortgage rates hit 5% this year, they started to see some buyers simply drop out of the market. But the silver lining is that for those who remained in it, there are a lot more opportunities now to find a home.
I think it's giving people a little bit more of a chance to get out there and have more of a selection.
Realtor Susan Huff says many homes are not getting multiple offers on the first day anymore.
It seems like you have a little bit more time and it's not quite as hectic.
Nathan Grant of Money Tips says you can't control mortgage rates.
I can stress about this all I want, but what can I actually do?
But he says there are factors you can control, such as saving for a larger down payment, working to raise your credit score to qualify for a lower rate, and comparing lenders online for the lowest rate. Nathan says refinancing later on is another option.
We got the home. The market's the same a year later and we were hoping to refinance a year later. Well, maybe in that same year, your credit has improved and your debt has been paid down. So your personal situation has improved.
Some more good news. Mortgage rates are now dropping again as the economy slows, so the Connors were finally able to lock in a decent rate.
We may have had to buy a smaller home due to the rising interest rates.
So don't get discouraged so you don't waste your money. I'm John Matarese.
For the first time since the COVID-19 pandemic, hundreds of thousands of home buyers are backing out of their contracts. A new study by real estate service Redfin reveals 15% of all home buyers nationwide had a case of cold feet in the month of June.
One real estate economist told me it is the first sign since 2020 that the real estate market is slowly returning to normal. Just 7 months ago, the real estate company Zillow ranked Jacksonville's housing market as the second hottest market in all of the U.S. behind the city of Tampa. North Florida homes were being sold for tens of thousands of dollars more than they were actually worth, and these homes stayed on the market for only a matter of hours, which today is not the case. In fact, in Redfin's June report, 25.3% of Jacksonville buyers had a change of heart and backed out before closing, leaving the house to someone else. Florida Atlantic University real estate economist Ken H. Johnson says it's the first sign that the real estate market is cooling off.
What drives that historically has been financing contingencies, inspection or due diligence contingencies, and very often it's just the buyers getting cold feet and there's a low earnest money deposit and you'll see buyers withdraw. They get cold feet. They just worry. That's a natural human tendency. So again, we're all coming back to the way we've been doing business for years and years.
According to Redfin, Jacksonville is the fifth largest metro market where buyers are backing out, only beat out by the cities of Port St. Lucie, Cape Coral, Lakeland, and Las Vegas, Nevada. Redfin reports that nationwide, 60,000 home purchase agreements fell through in the month of June, which equals to 15% of homes that went under contract that month. Johnson says the days of guaranteed bidding wars between buyers and homes being sold for more than they are appraised could be numbered after the Federal Reserve raised mortgage interest rates.
We're not building units for home ownership fast enough, new units fast enough in the state.
Realtors tell News4Jax if the Fed raises interest rates again, there's a possibility that existing home values could eventually take a dip in Florida. But in a state that's expected to see more than 2.2 million new residents over the next 10 years, Johnson points out there's still a very significant housing shortage that will help the real estate market stay competitive.
We're not building units for home ownership fast enough, new units fast enough in the state.
Also, keep in mind the mortgage rates shot up almost 6% in the month of June alone, which coincides with the rising numbers of buyers changing their minds. Economists say there's a lot of economic uncertainty right now, but the good news is for buyers, if you can afford to buy a home right now, a new home or a home that's been lived in, there are finally opportunities to find a house and perhaps even once again find a deal.
Higher interest rates are now causing Arizona's housing market to tap the brakes a little bit. And that's creating a ripple effect among buyers and sellers.
Team 12's Joe Dana spoke to an expert and checks in to see what's changing.
As we all know, mortgage rates are up. Rates were at a historic 2.7% in December of 2020, just above 3% at the beginning of this year, and are now anywhere between 5.5 and 5.8%.
Depending on the person's situation, I mean, that, 1, 2, 3 basis points can mean a large chunk, number one, for buying power and what they will actually get approved from for a lender and what they can actually afford.
Kelly Schmidt is with Scottsdale-based Jason Mitchell Group and sells homes around Maricopa County. The second change in the market, inventory is up. During the last couple of years, there was an average of 3,500 to 4,500 homes on the market in the valley in a given time period. That number is now around 17,000, quadruple the amount. Schmidt says a house that may have attracted dozens of buyers a few months ago may not anymore.
I have a friend that has a listing he put up in Peoria that he hasn't got a peep in 1 week, which, 6 months ago was unheard of.
The third way the housing market is changing, prices have slowed down. Schmidt says higher rates have slowed down the buying frenzy, but it's still relatively hot.
Home values they're not tanked. It still is a seller's market to a certain degree.
That brings us to the fourth change in the housing market. Buyers have more leverage.
I'm able to negotiate deals now. Before we were waiving repairs, we were waiving inspections, we were doing all these ridiculous things.
Schmidt says for home buyers who have the flexibility to buy at higher interest rates, negotiating a price point they like may allow them to refinance down the road. Joe Dana, 12 News.
All right, folks, comment below. Let me know what you guys think of the videos. As you guys can see, there's a cool off period right now that's going on in Texas, Florida, and also Arizona. The next thing we can probably expect to see is maybe a drop in prices, which is then going to lead to a drop when it comes to the value of homes, which is going to probably create a whole nother spiral after that. I appreciate you guys watching my videos. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Instagram, LifeofRudeDude, and motivated.millionaire_LLC. Make sure you guys also stop by the merch store. Grab yourself a t-shirt, a sweater, a hoodie, a coffee cup, or a phone case. I greatly appreciate you guys supporting the campaign. Remember, health is wealth. Please take care of yourself and your family. We're going to $1 million with everything.